Good afternoon, everybody. It's Maureen here for a little bit of Friday afternoon thinking. Friday the 13th. Who knew that we could get through a day and nothing suspicious has happened? Who knows? Well, that depends on interpretation, but with all the coronavirus stuff going on, I'm not going to get embroiled in that per se. Topic for today is love. And it's many forms. Love comes in many forms. So tomorrow, 14th of March, I will have been married a grand total of 33 years. Yes, to the same man. Who knew that somebody could tolerate me for that long, and that we could be together for that long. Still together, and now living in the idyllic rural Spain where we live now. But love comes in many forms, and it doesn't necessarily mean to be a personal relationship. It can be somebody that you bump into in the street and you express a form of love, whether it's a hug, but not suppose you're allowed to hug anybody at the minute, but some expression of caring, some expression of letting people know they're not alone, letting people know that there's other people out there that care. I seen in fact, just a couple of minutes before I came on here, an expression of love by my good friend Lucy Sheffield. Lucy's going through her own journey with reducing her alcohol intake and so on and so forth. Now, if you're interested in connecting with Lucy, I highly recommend that you do. She's a beautiful young lady who's also a children's author. But she's put out a post that she was quite anxious about doing, and it's about the fact that she wants to share her experience of her own journey of going without alcohol and helping others that might want to go down a similar path but don't have the resources or the help to do so. And that, for me, is another expression of love, an expression of showing that you care, showing that, or demonstrating to somebody else that you're not alone in this world. And it seems quite ironic that there are 7 billion people on the planet, and yet quite a lot of us feel alone at times. It might just be an indication of how we live in more Western societies, or it might just be indicative of the world at large these days. Who knows? Particularly given that we're being advised to self-isolate and all of these new pieces of language that we're being introduced to over the past few weeks and months. So, as I say, love comes in many forms. I have many forms of love in my own world, whether it's my husband, as I said, we're married 33 years tomorrow, or my birds, who are shouting in the background at the minute because they're about to get cleaned out, they're making their objections heard, or my mother, or my brothers, or any extended family I have around the globe. But also the many people that I come into contact with through my coaching, through my understanding of how the mind works and the people I interact with, through all of those experiences, but even the people that you come up against on a daily basis or a more regular basis that have nothing to do with your work, that have no idea who the hell you are from one day to the next, but they offer you a smile. Whether it's the cashier in the supermarket, whether it's the person that's you're buying petrol from at the petrol station, whoever it is, it really doesn't matter. It's about expressing the fact that there's more than one way to express love. And as I say, it doesn't have to be a passionate, deep, passionate relationship in order to express love. It's about showing that you care, showing that in this crazy world that we live in, that there are people out here who have caught sight of you. Because sometimes you can lose sight of yourself in all of this stuff. Who just, you know that at any point you can pick up a phone and go, have you got a minute? And you could be on the phone for an hour. You only ever meant it to be a minute, but there is no time limit on expressing to somebody that you're just here to listen. As a coach, it's what I do all day, every day. I listen. And in that listening, there's a bond created, a rapport, a relationship, a deep connection. And it's how I used to help some of the amazing students that I used to work with in Oxford. And I see David's on the line. Hi, David. And David is an amazing chap who has an immense capacity for listening and caring and being there for the myriad of students that he now has to look after. And it's not something that can be taught. It's not something that can be. I think you can watch and observe others going through the process, but I think it's something that's innate within each of us. It's not a 5-step to-do thing. It's an inbuilt connection from one human being to another. That connection of empathy, you can call it love, you can call it connection, you can call it whatever you wish to call it. Thank you, David. But it is about connecting with other people and meeting them where they're at. Because you have no idea, absolutely no idea, when you embark on a conversation with somebody as to how their day has been, what's going on in their world, and how life is showing up for them right at that minute. And it could be something that you and I may just brush off or be okay with, but it's something that is deeply impacting to them. And it's being okay in recognizing that they're seeing their world or their experience of that situation vastly differently. Not unlike the cancer. I saw it in one way, and lots of people see it in a completely different way. And that's okay. There's nothing right, there's nothing wrong. It's just about having an awareness that in any moment we're all going through our version of our day, of our life. So meeting people where they're at is an amazing skill, an amazing skill. But connecting with people, even when you're going about your busy day, whether you're on the bus, on the train, or on the tube, wherever you are traveling in the world, that eye-to-eye contact just shows to somebody that there's a connection. It might be the slightest of connections, but to them it might mean that somebody recognized me, somebody saw me today. I'm not alone. So in this crazy world where we find ourselves, particularly at the moment with this thing called coronavirus, we're encouraged not to shake hands, we're encouraged not to have physical contact, but it doesn't mean to say you can't have eye contact. It doesn't mean to say that you can't express your sympathy, your care, your love, your attention, any kind of connection with somebody at this moment in time. It's probably more important than ever, because they may be going through a fearful situation of, do I have it, do I not have it? If I've got it, can I pass it on to my elderly parents, grandparents, my children, or whoever they either live with or they have connections with? I mean, for example, I mean, here I am in Spain, sort of sunny today, sort of overcast. But my mother and my 2 brothers live in the northwest of Scotland, thousands of miles away. I can't just bump into them and say hi. But I do have the ability to pick up a phone, jump on Skype or Zoom, and tell them that I'm still here, still thinking of them, even if I can't physically be with them. And to reassure people. Reassuring people is an amazing thing to do. And all it takes is, it can be as simple as a word or a few words. I'm listening. I'm here. Let's talk. So love can be an amazing relationship, as I have, thankfully, still have. But it can be the simplest connections that you have with people that you just bump into in the street. So never underestimate the value of a smile, the connection with people that you have with just connecting with them eye to eye, saying hello even. The Spanish have a great preponderance for saying hello to everybody, which I think is amazing. And they kind of shorten things. So instead of it being buenos dias, it's buenas, and they shout it down the street at you. And I think it's amazing because there's a deep felt rapport, I feel, with everybody around them. And they'd like to express that. And they also like the expression back at them, which means that there's a sense of connecting, even if it's just a one word or a few words. I say, smile. A smile can replace 1,000 words. That pure connection, that pure love, you can't buy it. You can share it. So on this Friday afternoon, I invite you to share a connection with somebody, whether it's a smile, a few words, or pick up a phone to somebody you haven't spoken to in a while and say, how you doing? Haven't heard from you in a while. Text somebody. Anything that says, I'm still here, I think of you, how are you? So from me to you, have an amazing weekend, and I look forward to speaking with you next week. And from me to you, I love you all. Bye for now.